So this checkpoint, it should be okay for us to die now after this checkpoint, and if we just so happen to die, then the overshields and the ammo and other stuff will respawn. So I'm just going to go over here and activate these switches, which will release 2 nucleon shock cannons, which we're going to be using in this next wave here. This wave will take a little while to get started, which is good, because we need all the time to prepare for it. Up here there's a switch which will deploy 2 more repair sentries, but they can only really reach us if we're up there with them. But they're kind of nice to have just in case you need somewhere to go run away to heal. Pick up one of the overshields, and then we're going to use these, we're going to have to fight some Seekers and some other snipers that will go and perch themselves up on the upper levels there. And eventually we're going to have a drop ship that'll come overhead like so and drop some more Seekers down. Now the nucleon shock cannon is pretty good against them, but like I showed in earlier in the game with whatever mission that was, Death of Hope, it's kind of hard to hit them with the nucleon shock cannon. So, but I do recommend using it against the snipers if you want to get rid of them. They come at 2 at a time, so if you want to get rid of both of them at once, then that's a way you can do it. But you definitely want to save your ammo for at least one of them, because there's going to be a couple more heavies coming later. And we definitely want to have something with a lot of muscle that can get rid of them quickly, because we don't want them to hit Ratchet, because they can do a lot of damage in a very short amount of time, and because we're not playing as Warpath, we have no way to cover him. These Seekers are being stubborn and not transforming into their alt modes. Here we go. Here's these. Here's the heavies, and I use the War Cry ability, which is Optimus's buffing ability, and with that increased damage, the nucleon shock cannon can take these guys out in about 3 shots, as you saw there. So that's really good. That's probably the fastest thing that can kill them in the whole game. I guess one of my shots didn't hit him directly, so it took 4 for that guy. In some of my earlier takes, my War Cry did not last long enough for me to get to the second guy, so I had to waste all my ammo in this thing before killing all 2 of them. I'm stuttering a lot today. Anyway, Ratchet has been incapacitated by these Decepticons over here, so we're gonna go try to help him out. But there's a lot of them over there, as you can see. So I decided, you know what, I could really use some grenades for that. So I decided I'll be patient and not rush it. So I went over and picked up some grenades. Now I'm gonna try to help him out, because I was thinking I was gonna have to use those grenades on those guys that were clustered over there on that ramp, but they just sort of dispersed out before I got over there, so I decided, screw it, I'm going to revive him. My overshield can take the damage for me while I'm doing it, because I can always go back and get another overshield. I wasted quite a bit of ammo in this nucleon shock cannon, so I didn't get to use a whole lot of it on this brood over here with the heavy turret. But I got the last 3 shots on him, but obviously since I didn't use, my War Cry is not fully recharged, I couldn't do as much damage as before. Toss a few grenades out. I probably should have saved those. Stomp. Yeah, I was thinking about using the... because those guys were transforming a lot, so I was thinking about using the rocket launcher on them. But I didn't really have to. Now they all those heavies dropped their turrets. I keep calling them heavies, but they're technically just brutes with weapons. So definitely want to use those because they're pretty powerful. There's one of them I'm going to save though, but I'm going to use this one on the last remaining enemies in this wave. This wave was probably one of the most intense. Oh, there's a freaking brute that dropped down up there. Yeah, that's mainly what you're going to want to use him on, because this guy can get really uncomfortably close to Ratchet. And this is again one of those times where I recommend playing as Warpath, so you can deploy the force field to protect him while you're, or to protect yourself rather, while you're reviving him. Yeah, that's one of those abilities where you definitely want to pick up all the energon you get from killing the enemies, because then you'll be able to use it more often. It looks like we helped out Omega, so he's going to open the door for us to get us to the core. Oh crap, a destroyer. That's exactly what we needed right now after fighting all those guys. I mean, hell, that was probably one of the harder encounters in the game. But yeah, now we have a couple more overshields we can go back and get. So we're going to go and flank around that destroyer and go take him out. Now I should have a full turret over there that I didn't use unless the game deleted it. In which case, there's still another turret on the upper level there that we haven't ripped off its mounting yet. And come along here over here in the back. Like most destroyer encounters in the game, there's a fairly decent amount of cover that we can use to flank them and hit them in the weak spot at the back of their tank. But for some reason at this point, the damage wasn't registering on his back there. I couldn't do any damage to him. I thought he was transforming there when he was doing his little shockwave thing, so I backed off, but he wasn't. Hoping to hit him with some grenades, but I'm just, whatever reason, this spot I'm not able to do much damage to him at all. Alright, so he transformed. Now I'm going to go over to the upper level and use that turret up there, since he's being a little bit stubborn. I thought I had him there, I could hit him from behind, then he just turns abruptly towards me. Those overshields really do help out a lot, though. Over here is another weapon we're not going to use, since this battle's already over, pretty much. Now, you don't actually have to completely kill this guy, you just have to get his chest armor exposed to get him down to, basically down to critical health. So I'm just going to empty this turret out on his chest and expose his armor, or expose his, what's under his armor. And Omega Supreme will do the rest, now that he's fully restored. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so we're finally done with this fight. And unfortunately Ratchet is not going to join us on our journey to the core. He's going to stay here and help out Omega Supreme some more. So it's going to be back down to just the three of us. But at least we won't have to worry about covering him anymore. So we're going to go and stock up on grenades and other ammo. And if we want to switch weapons, now would be the time to do it, since we have pretty much a full arsenal here. I'm going to go and pick up the last overshield. And like I said, the overshields only respawn if you die after getting the checkpoint before the final round. And I'm going to leave the turret behind, because obviously we're going to have to go without it here in vehicle mode.
Keep your optics sharp, Autobots. The High Council told me about the corruptive properties of dark energy.
I suppose we could walk all this way down here, but come on, it's a really long way. Is it really even worth it? And there's some more health down here, just in case we need it, but we really don't.
To continue.
I'm ready. Of course you are. Let's get it over with.
And no fall damage, because this game is awesome like that.
The corruption is spreading more quickly than
Now, this particular part is something you might want to consider if you're when you're considering what character you want to play as, because if you play as Optimus at this part, you get to choose which path you want to take. Now, if the AI is playing as Optimus, though, then they choose which path they want to take. Because right here, after we're distracted by this random space slug, as you can see, there's walls here that are, these hallways are being blocked off by these random cables here. We can cut through them with his Energon axe. Now, if we go to the path of the left, there's a Decepticon collectible we can get that I missed the first few times going through the game, so I decided to go and get it on screen now, this time while recording, so I could show off what I'm talking about, which allowed me to get this achievement after being done with this test run here. Here it is. There's the collectible right there. It's just a Decepticon symbol. You break it and you get more achievement progress. I've already gotten all of them on the Decepticon campaign, and by the time I finished recording this walkthrough, I had them all in the Autobot campaign as well. You both come out at the same place. With the right path, you come out right below the exit there of the other path. Oh, there's a photon burst rifle there, but obviously I can't. I really can't pick it up because I have the I have my ion blaster, and I kind of still want to use my rocket launcher for a little bit here. Well, I might pick it up a little bit later though. But yeah, If you're not playing as Optimus, though, the AI will do that for you, so you may not get the right path. So if you're trying to get all the Autobot or Decepticon collectibles here, rather, then you gotta play as Optimus, unfortunately. Not that that's really a bad thing, as I'm showing off here, because he's fun to play as, and this is the mission where I like to play as him, even though I still really recommend Warpath. But basically, this encounter over here is just a few scouts. And some of them are snipers, I believe. They just kind of hang out up there on the upper ledges, or they have rockets and other annoying weapons that they can use effectively at range. We kind of have to fire our ion blaster in weird bursts to be able to hit them adequately, as you can see. And I'm almost out of ammo for it. Get a random cutscene for that guy with the overshield. I don't know what that was all about. We've been fighting guys with overshields before now. Kind of like the guy with the rocket launcher in K-On! Prison Break. It's like, what's the big deal? We've been fighting guys like that the whole game. But we got some grenades there, and those will be useful for taking out their overshields, so we don't have to waste too much ammo on them. Now, after taking out those guys, there'll be one last guy that will jump down here and get eaten by the space slug. And then Ironhide will proceed to make a reference to the 1986 Transformers movie, and we will go and walk around him to our objective. But before we do that, I'll first acknowledge that there's health over there by the place we're supposed to be going. But I'm not going to go there just yet, because I'm going to actually follow this slug down to where he's going, because he's going to gnaw through another wall coming up here. And there's some stuff behind it. Down here is 2 more overshields, just in case you need them. So I recommend being patient and waiting until then, and he just sort of dissolves into nothing right there. So now we can go through the path that he cleared out for us. Gonna cut through these again with the axe. We're charged awfully quickly now, didn't it, Optimus? Yeah, that it's more of a power that progresses the plot more than anything else. Anyway, more falling without fall damage, and right here there's another. Right behind here, there's more overshields and another collectible which I already got.
What is that?
And we gotta, if you want that, you gotta get it quick, because there'll be another cutscene right here. More space slugs with turrets on their back, so they're armed and ready to go, ready to kick the Decepticons out of the core. And we're going to help them do it. So let's mount up and roll out. Now we're going to have a brief little break here to get our bearings, and then the slugs are going to bash through this wall of Dark Energon, and it'll be fast-paced turret sequence from now on. And basically all we have to do is just pay attention to where enemies are going to pop up here. Those Seekers can't really do anything to us because they fly through scripted. And we just got to pay attention to where enemies are going to pop up and just gun them down pretty much, because we're on rails here since we're riding the slug. And we have unlimited ammo and only one weapon, that being the turret. So all we got to do is point and shoot whenever they show up. But it's mostly going to be scouts, which all have either assault rifles or rocket launchers, I think. And you can pretty much tell where they are based on if you're under fire from one of them. You can see the shots or to see the damage you're taking. So it's kind of nice to have those overshields before this. And you have 2 opportunities to get an overshield, so you shouldn't be without one. But you definitely don't want to leave any guys behind unless you're going to get something that blocks them. Like right here, there was this guy. But in a second there, that would have been that one pillar that would have blocked him off. So unless you definitely want to get guys that are behind you, even if you don't think they're much of a threat anymore, they might sneak up on you. There'll be more to this sequence later as we get over here. We're going to take a little break to introduce the boss of this level, or at least he'll be the boss a little bit later. He's some kind of corrupted worm thingy.
Did you see that? How could I not see it?
Right here, there's some Seekers coming out of these tunnels right here that will be a little distractions for us. Now the giant worm will appear and he will start shooting explosive projectiles at us, which we can shoot down. But we can't really do any damage to him right now, so we just gotta hold out and wait for him to move on.